Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report, again joined by men head soccer coach Phil Heinsohn. Coach, you have a lot of internationals on your team this year, and frankly, you've got a lot from countries that UNCP historically hasn't had a lot. Your predecessor, Mike Schaefer, had a lot of players from Latin America, a lot of Guatemalans, a few Germans, but you have a lot of players you have some from England, you have an Irishman, you have a South African, you have a couple of New Zealanders. How different is it recruiting international players than it is American players, despite the, in addition to just the obvious of going abroad?
Well, the thing is, there's not as much competition. If you can find the right areas, there's not as much competition to get them. So if you can find the right niche, then you can, kind of go get a kid without another school going after them. So that was a big thing for us, and we were able to get the two New Zealand kids. I was able to go down there this summer as well, meet both of them before they came over, so that was important.
And how did you enjoy that trip? I mean, that's a long flight for recruiting, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a long way. It was a great trip, though. I was only there for, I think, 3 nights because of the long travel, but I plan on possibly going again next year.
See, now if I went to New Zealand, it's like a 17-hour time difference. I don't think I'd know whether I was coming or going, particularly if it was just 3 days, and then you got to turn around and come right back on a 24, 25-hour flight.
Yeah, it was pretty tiring. I've been to South Africa before. That was long, but New Zealand was even longer.
How much international travel in general do you do to recruit? Do you just do usually one trip, or do you try to do multiple trips a year if you can?
Try and do multiple trips. Since I've been here, I've been to Finland, I've been to Germany, I've been to New Zealand, sure. England, Scotland, Ireland. So we try and do multiple trips. But for next year, I don't think we'll need as many players. So it depends on the position that we need.
And Coach, I'm always happy to do if you need a faculty liaison on these trips. I'm always happy to do this stuff. Is it a challenge to mesh together all of the styles of the different internationals into one cohesive unit on the team?
Well, it can be, but with the players that we have, they have actually a similar style. The South African player that we have, the New Zealand kids, the English kids, it's a lot of similar styles. So we're not really mingling players from Central America, South America. It's a little bit different there, so it's not been too difficult.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's talk about Sam Miles real quick. He had a couple of goals in quick succession, I think within 2 minutes of each other, in the second half, and you have 2 or 3 players up front who are really true strikers, who are threats to score a goal at any time, and frankly, this is something that UNCP hasn't had. They haven't had a true striker in a couple of years. Talk about your strikers core and how they have added to your team.
I think Sam's done very well coming in. It was important he got a couple of goals. Martin Tomter's been excellent this year. He's not starting him, but that's more of a tactical decision that we're making right now, because we feel they're such a threat, both of them, when they come on. Now and again they're playing together, but we like the threat for 90 minutes. Guys are not 100% fit right now to play for 90 minutes, so we like the threat continuously coming on. So they're working well together. Martin understands the decision I've made, and he's fine with it.
And I assume that fitness level is getting better and better as the season progresses.
It is, and we play a kind of high-tempo game as well. We press teams, so because of that, it's tough for the guys to play 90 minutes. So it's been fine so far. That they've worked together and they've bought into what we're trying to do.
Hopefully that'll pay off by the mid to the end of the season, when you're deep in the peach belt and your fitness level will really show.
Definitely.
Okay, well, pardon the train going by here, but you've got another game on Wednesday. It would be tomorrow, the day of this taping. Already played by the time the show airs, though, with Mount Olive. What do you know about Mount Olive? Do you have any particular game plan? Who are their players to watch out for?
I've seen them play. I've seen them play against Methodist in pre-season, and my assistant Sean Brennan saw them play Catawba on Saturday night. So we've got a good scout report going in.
Okay, and Saturday, which will be today, for those who are watching this show, you've got your first road game of the season against Chauhan. The same question applies to them. What kind of game do you expect to get from Chauhan?
I mean, it'll be a tough game. Every game's difficult. I mean, I think the days of teams running teams over, they're kind of gone. In soccer, every game you have to be prepared. I never take anything for granted, so we will be prepared and ready to go.
Okay, you mentioned you've got a new assistant coach, Coach Brennan. Talk about what he brings, how he complements your skills.
Sean's done a very good job. I've known him when I used to be at Clemson. He would come work camp there. I got to know him then. He was at Mount Olive for a couple of years, and he's come in January, done a very good job. He coaches the goalkeepers also, but very good temperament with the players. He's very well liked by the players, and very good for me, so I'm happy with him. Okay,
finally, real quick, Coach, you're number 6 on the regional rankings as of today. How's it feel to be ranked?
It's nice. It's always nice. Again, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we're 2-0 though, so hopefully we'll be there at the end of the year.
Okay, Coach, I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend against all the teams you're playing. And that's all the time that we have for this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report. Until next week, go Braves.